I'm Craig Barrett. So a lot of you guys know me because I pretty much was one of the marshals for quite some time. I was pretty much the only marshal from November up until about February, and then slowly tried to rebuild it back up and reimage it after a horrible downfall. And I left the marshals completely again at the end of May. I put a lot of time and effort into that place. I mean, I put in some serious degen hours trying to rebuild and restructure and get it into a place to put it in as the reference for what it is to hold for accountability in our state,
Mm.
which should kind of put in perspective what it means when I say this. The display that the marshals showed during their impeachment of Gunnar Kane recently was a complete disgrace. The entire point, the entire goal, looking past what we put in there legislatively of like what their specific mission is, the goal of the marshals was to better public opinion, give public confidence. We wanted to give confidence of the general public in their government and to be on their side, to be more transparent, hold their government accountable, and give confidence. What we saw in that impeachment was the literal opposite of everything I tried to build in the marshals. From them hiring attorneys to speak on their behalf because they couldn't answer the questions themselves, making it so they couldn't even answer the questions that the public had for them, to fighting and arguing against things in the most absurd, mind-numbing manner about something as simple as, why didn't you let us know you deployed tanks? Uh, just derailing the whole accountability portion of it, and it killed public trust. That display, from talking to other people out there and including myself, killed a lot of public trust in not just the marshals but our entire government over that,
Mm.
because that brought up more questions than answers. This whole Blackstone nonsense, the tank deployment. So it made clear that our government agencies are not talking to each other. So transparency, not only are we not being transparent with the people, but we're not being transparent with each other. And I will say, and this absolutely breaks my heart to say this because of how much effort and time I put into that agency, the marshals, as they are right now, need to be shut down.
Mm.
I believe, and I still do truly believe, that the mission and goal of the marshals is something we need in order to build that public trust. But the way they stand right now is not it. They have become what they were designed to avoid. And I don't see, from the way they've acted and reacted and the way they've acted since then, I have no trust in them at all. That's my piece on it.
Uh, Barrett, the last time the legislative authorities gathered, it would have been Thursday. Um, the subject matter was very much the same as what you're bringing up, and where we landed was that all of the legislative authorities were to go back to their respective teams and basically bring a statement similar to yours, because we very much agree with what you're saying, back to our respective departments, our respective cabinets, our teams, and brainstorm what the next steps are. And we put a couple options on the table the last time we met. We talked about basically firing them into the sun with a piece of legislation that says the marshals need to go bye-bye, right? Doing it with a vote of non-confidence, doing it via referendum. But we effectively agreed that the institution as a whole has failed to deliver on their mandate. and they need to be replaced. They need to be replaced because we also agreed that there would be an oversight and accountability vacuum without them. Mind you, I argue that vacuum already exists because they're not really holding anyone accountable. But I agree with you that their mandate and their role in the city is an important one. Uh, it's important that corruption is rooted out from institutions, right?
Mhm.
It's important that accountability exists so that the institutions, such as the mayor's offices, such as the DOJ, such as law enforcement, uh, they do have oversight. They do have accountability, so the people can have trust in these institutions. So I agree with you, and that's why I'm showing up today as a participant here at this legislative authority meeting with a vote of non-confidence in hand to effectively put it up to referendum that the people may so vote to dismantle the state marshals. But pending that vote, that a writ of prohibition be issued, effectively restricting any acting marshal from serving in that role until it's decided by the public. But the caveat is, if this is to go through and if the people do vote yes, it will be our lawful duty to build up a replacement department in a reasonable amount of time. That is what I am here to propose today.
Do you have an idea about that, Michael?
What part specifically? Actually, you know what?
The Reformation.
This is where my mind immediately goes, right?
Mhm.
I think what we initially proposed, being a majority vote of the legislative authorities, is a good idea, and perhaps that could work for the first director. But I think after that, if the director themselves is on a 6-month cycle and the public votes, I think that is the way to go about doing it. But I think to put your name on that ballot, there must be a high standard, right? Greater than a year of law enforcement experience, a amount of time in good standing. So, perhaps 6 months consecutive service up to the moment of your registration without any suspension, right? Something along those lines. But I like the idea of the standard being high and the public having a say.
What did you think about my proposal and my lengthy bill that I sent to you and Junior? I know
I
it's a very
haven't
lengthy
gotten that
bill,
far.
but
I read it. I read it, and then a lot has happened since I read it, and truthfully, I haven't looked back on it. But before any referendum were to go up, I would want to make sure that we have that side sorted out as well. So when
Hi,
the vote hits
Utopia.
and when the agency is dismantled,
Hello.
the next piece of legislation goes up to create whatever department
W
it is that's going
first.
to replace the marshals. So
I got
Can
my
Uh,
I've got a
straw.
very basic question now, right? Like, because
please,
I
please.
I went away and thought about this for the past week. Like, I think we all
Mm,
did, and
Mm.
I'm
the
not
buzz ball.
convinced, but I'm willing to be convinced that
The
a
buzz ball is
one-for-one
fire.
like replacement is the
I
ideal
got my
option.
buzz ball.
I don't know if Craig feels the same way, but I know
Okay, bye.
personally
Love
when I was a
you.
marshal that
Mwah, love you.
I felt like the mission statement was two separate mission statements, like hodgepodge together. There is the weeding out of corruption, and then there is the last line of defense against terroristic threats. These things are not ideally meshed.
Mm.
They both draw different people to the job. There are people who just want to ride around in the tanks, right? And those people probably want to do different things than the people who want to dig into governmental corruption, the paperwork trails, the interrogations, the conversations, the docket work. Like, I think I'm not convinced that two separate institutions, one each highly focused on what they do, wouldn't be a preferable option than a singular entity trying to do everything.
Mm.
I have an idea on that, if I may,
Please.
because I had actually considered about this too. Based on because if you had asked me this 6 months ago, I would have told you no. The marshals need to be an independent investigative unit, and that is basically their primary objective. But as we know, things in San Andreas change over time, and we should adapt. I had even cut out all patrol aspects of the marshals at a time and that was just due to the cultural expectations of the marshals. These days, and based on what I'm getting in feedback and things like that, I do personally believe that a state agency would be needed to be established that constitutes that has both patrol and investigative aspects, and I almost want to lean on the state of Texas and the way they structure it, as a structural foundation. You have the Texas Department of Public Safety, and underneath them you have the state troopers and the rangers. uh, Texas DPS, Department of Public Safety, being the overall, that's the state agency that deals with law enforcement statewide. And then underneath them, the troopers, who are the patrol division, and the rangers, who are the investigations division. I think we can mimic something similar to that in a very effective manner, where we have the marshals as a division of a San Andreas Department of Public Safety kind of thing, or whatever name we try to go with, and a formation of the troopers as a patrol oriented, or a very executive division of that. The reason I think that's more culturally required now is it kind of alleviates a problem that I suffered in the marshals. You need a personality, a, a person of a person who attracts talent. As much as I love to say I was a great, I, I like to appreciate how I led things, and I like to say I was good at it. I didn't attract talent. I ended up having to hire lawyers. I had to hire DOC. There wasn't a single police officer that transferred in my time, because it's not something I didn't attract talent. And unfortunately, the best talents we have in law enforcement right now, who have the experience to lead it, are going to be patrol oriented people who don't want to do that as a primary function. You would need to have somebody who can see the whole scale for everything to lead a whole department like that, who can attract talent from both sides. And by attracting good people, from people who are very, very experts in the patrol division, to a trooper side, will also bring in your investigators into the marshal side of things. And that's why I think in this day and age, it would be crucial, if we rebuild the marshals, you would need to have both a patrol and a marshal in an investigative unit division as well.
I agree. That's literally where I was going with this. I think, like, however you phrase it, whatever coat of paint you want to put on it, right? If you think the title marshal is so poisoned at this point that it needs to be just, you could have some kind of investigative bureau, right? Whether you title it federal or not, right? You could have that. Then you could have a trooper division, and then have a director above both that straddles the line, and you know designates where the manpower needs to be. However you decide to flavor it, I agree. I think that I, I know personally, when I was a marshal, I was involved mostly in investigations, right? But like, I could be head deep in the MDT working on, transcribing an interrogation I just did on an officer involved shooting. And then, the beeps go off, your radio starts, and I'm running across the road to Crusade because there's been a shooting at the hospital at Stake Ground. It's all hands on deck, right? It's not ideal. If you're investigating, you want to be investigating. If you're doing your shoot, but then you'd have other sides, individuals like, I don't know, who was a marshal, the Novas of this world, who want to be out in the field doing shit all the time and don't want to touch an MDT. You're gonna getting people who straddle that line and want to do both is rare, and do both at an exceptional level where the marshals need to be operating at, or whatever divisions we end up calling them. You want the best of the best. You want experts. You want the finest minds doing your investigation, and you want the best patrol cops transferring over to do the the patrol side of things. You don't want jack of all trades, all rounders in charge of this stuff. You don't. I'm with Craig. I think you need specialists.
I want to put this forward basically just to balance the argument, right? Because we also have to be cognizant of jurisdictional conflicts. When I bring that up, I'm referencing, like what happened between the marshals and the DOC. There was concern that jurisdictional lines were being blurred, that autonomy was being lost, and it effectively led to the dismantling of the DOC. And in many ways, it
Really?
ultimately led to the independence of the marshals from the DOJ and the independence of the DOC, which is not a bad thing, right? These are good things. However, how patrol is implemented is going to dramatically impact the morale of the LSPD and the BCSO, and that's something that has to be considered as well. I'm not saying it's a bad idea or even that I disagree with either of you. It's just that we also have to be cognizant of those downstream impacts of how this gets implemented.
The reality is, like, on a day-to-day level, they're still going to right, create a patrol division, whatever division that is, call the troopers. These troopers will be outside of the standard chain of command, or maybe they're inside at a set level, like they're all sergeants, right? Until a state of emergency is declared, at which point they take operational control, right? Because that's what they're there for. They're there to fight against the terroristic threat. They're the ones with the certs for the APCs. They're the ones with the certs for the specific martial weaponry. They are experts in their field, yes, and they should be operationally deployed that way. But until actual terroristic threat is faced, they've just got to fit in and do what everybody else is doing, right? It's the only way it works.
Yeah, with the kind of experts that you would attract for this kind of division, I think one of the core ideals that I had instituted in the marshals would remain and keep that kind of a separate culture of such in any kind of patrol division, and that's the rank squish idea, or the rank squish idealisms that I had when I had the marshals, which is you don't have this whole huge chain of command that you deal with. Like when you think of LSPD, you think, you know, PPO, officer, senior officer, sergeant, lieutenant, captain. In a state level agency where everybody who's in there is regarded to be some kind of expert or a advanced leader in their subject, you keep it simple. You have your officers or troopers, supervisors, and leaders, and that's it. 3 tiers is the max. Otherwise, you basically just have the same issues that you have with the other departments, and you keep things. If you keep it level and everything like that, then people don't see the other patrol divisions wouldn't see the state agencies by their rank. They just see them as the agency, if that makes sense. Otherwise, they start going, well, you're just a regular trooper in the state troopers, or you're a sergeant in the troopers, so I respect you a little bit more. No, you want them to see them as level, and they want to see each other as level. You get rid of that fight for rank as this is by getting in this division, you're already shown that you are capable of anything, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, my overarching point, I think, still stays the same, though, is that if this new agency, and again, should this even go forward, if this new agency includes a patrol division, let's say, you're going to run that risk, optically or factually, that department, that patrol department is effectively just a third police department competing with the LSPD and the BCSO for the same crimes. And at that point, that's not really oversight. That's just redundancy. And again, I'm just putting this up for the sake of constructive argument, but one of the primary motivators behind dissolving the marshals was to fix the identity crisis and not just simply recreate it under a new name. So again, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm saying how we go about mandating and legislating this needs to be done with those downstream issues in mind. A lot of people around the table. If anyone else has a thought.
More so just back to what Grayson was saying. I mean, obviously we had talked about this. I do stand firm, and I think all of us who've spoken come to the same consensus that it would have to be split like that and have the two separate parts of it that are patrol and non-patrol, just to kind of keep it more focused in that sense.
That's an important thing, Sean, because I think and Barrett, I'd absolutely love your feedback on this, but this is my perception, right? I feel like the marshals almost collapsed under the weight of. Do you know what scope creep is?
I do.
No, go on.
Scope
I
creep
probably
is effectively like the scope of your job, right? But the scope keeps slowly expanding more and more and more and more, and suddenly they don't know what their job is anymore.
It's literally what happened with the first iteration of the Marshals.
Right.
Yeah.
So perceptually, and again, this is from the outside looking in, but I have been around for quite a while, right? I've had this perception that the marshals themselves at any given time thought they were patrol cops, detectives. Sometimes they were policymakers, right? Like lawmakers. Sometimes they were tank operators. Sometimes they were legislative authorities.
Baby, got me by.
And the need to keep it separate is important, right? I agree with that
Yeah.
entirely. But the scope needs to be clear, and I think it very much needs to be quite rigid. I think if it's left too open to interpretation, we run the risk of getting right back into the same situation again.
I think that's what that was kind of. Correct me if I'm wrong, Grayson. Wow, that's kind of what we discussed when we were having our internal discussion. Was like if they were to be if we're running this back, it needs to be a firm purpose, something that is defined very clearly and what they're supposed to be doing.
I mean, that's the most important thing, right? A really strong mission statement for one division, two divisions, whatever it is, right? It needs to be a strong, and then like checks and balances. There needs to be safety valves. There needs to be ways to, get corrupt individuals out faster than waiting a month for an impeachment. There needs to be mechanisms, right? There just has to be. It's too much power. We've seen what happens when that power's gone into the wrong hands. We've seen what happens when ill-trained or untrained individuals get that power and that responsibility. It's not. We can't. We're derelict in our duties if we're allowed to go unchecked.
Yeah. I think in you bringing that up, you've raised another point that I want to raise, and that is, I think if we need to all be that this is likely going to start as a very, very small. Too much power in the hands of people who don't know how to wield it is very, very dangerous. And that's why I think that the standards for becoming a state marshal, not the director, but to become a marshal in the first place, should be very, very high. Because I think again we're in this situation because leadership has been handed down and down further the organizational chart of the marshals to the point where it's now in the hands of someone who doesn't even know the law, right?
I'd feel safer, and I don't know about you, if we had 3 marshals who knew what the fuck they were doing rather than 20 who don't. Like,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But that kind of brings in the other component here, right? Is that if we're talking about this logically, you really want to be pulling the best of the best. And if you're pulling the best of the best, there's the downstream issue of the PDs as the natural feeder organizations to the marshals, right? And I think, at least in the LSPD, a lot of the feedback that I received from conducting chief of police interviews is that the standards are low. And that's why I think there is going to be a lot of lag in staffing the marshals, because I feel like standards need to raise in these feeder organizations.
And honestly, that's okay.
Yeah, but say that's not necessarily an issue, right?
I mean, when we think about it in practice, right? Like Barrett is literally a living example of one effective marshal being better than a gaggle of marshals that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like with the stuff he was pushing for, the stuff he was investigating, and just like the practices that he brought up within, like the PD is still asked for a monthly FOIA of the public bank accounts every month because that's what Barrett did, and the stuff that Barrett uncovered, finding uncovered doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Individual competency is such a like I'm here to toot my own horn. I was there for 3 months. I prosecuted 5 hag charges, 2 convictions, right? 2 complete convictions, 100% success rate, and I had 3 officers fired in 2 months. You can get results if you. And I was working solo, just because that was the nature of it. I think that like if you hire the right people, you will get results. You've just got to
Yeah.
hold the line and not hire idiots.
Yeah, knowing, and this is coming from someone who's been in this culture for a long time in the police and law enforcement culture down here. If you have the right core people to start it, even if it's 2-3 people just to get started, and they show the right level of competency, that shows that they are, they are the next level up there. You are creating a new goal. And right now there are a lot of lacking goals for long-term officers, because right now the only other goal is to go for rank. Well, if you don't want to be out there as a supervisor, then you don't have any goals. There's nothing else to reach up to. But by creating an agency that's known for people who, officers who are exemplary in their performance and duties, you've created a new goal that regular officers can strive to achieve without having to go straight for leadership. And if they are successful, then everybody else can be successful. I see a world where LSPD and BCSO law enforcement officers are working it better in their regular officer roles, and then applying to the marshals or troopers or whatever, and they have to go through their application process as if they were a civilian applying for LSPD and BCSO. And they go through the whole hiring rigmarole and all that, and they get reviewed over their reports. They get some feedback. Hey, if you want to be a marshal, man, you got to start doing your reports a lot thicker. You got, out of the last 10 reports, you've written 2 statements. What you think this is going to be marshal or trooper material? And so you give them more goals to better themselves. By giving them a goal like that, you, in theory, in the long term, should start seeing an improvement in all officers statewide.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything else any of the other legislative authorities want to bring forward on this?
One thing you did touch on, Michael, and didn't get my full point across. You mentioned how when you were doing chief of police interviews, a big thing people talked about was the standards at the moment, right?
Yes.
Well, the way I kind of view it, if getting a position in the marshals is seen as that next step up, surely the standards will then begin to raise automatically, because if people then view that as a quote unquote promotion, or the creme de la creme, so to speak, people will start picking their game up. Don't you agree?
I don't, and I'm going to tell you why. Nothing is automatic ever, and I think even the lowering of standards across the LSPD and the BCSO and law enforcement in general, right? I think the standards are rock bottom in the marshals as well. I mean, before Barrett impeached the justices out of existence, I would argue that standards had dropped throughout the DOJ as well. This doesn't happen automatically, right? Both sides of the scale. This dropping of standards happens because people are willfully ignorant. They choose to not become better at their job. They choose to not put the work in. Not everyone wants to be the creme de la creme, as you say, right? But there are some bare minimum standards that I feel are still lacking in both departments. And I think by raising those standards, at minimum, the stars in the departments too will raise their standards. I don't think that happens automatically, Junior, but I do understand the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
The only other feedback I can give is y'all were talking about setting their directives in stone. While I agree in some aspects, I personally don't believe setting a direct, exact bumper to their mission statement in legislation is going to be the most effective, because, as I've said before, things change culturally statewide. Everything changes over time. And I think it would be better regulated by executive orders by a legislative board of some kind, where the legislators get together and they issue a collective executive order towards the state departments to now, this is your priority tasks. and this is your new mission statement, your goals, and then that would be like the order to the director or whoever's over the state agencies to enforce and basically feed those orders down, because some of those orders may not, they may conflict between patrol and detective divisions, and you want them to be able to control and have give the director the authority to, or the ability to rightly distribute orders and commands down the chain.
So this is where things get a bit complicated, though, right? Because you can't have the legislative authorities tasked with giving the mandate to the marshals, who are then going to hold all the legislative authorities accountable. The marshals deserve independence, right? And that's kind of why I think the proposal, I'm going to share it with everyone here, but my proposal is that the first director is appointed by majority decision of the legislative authorities, but after that it goes to vote, because then the marshal's mandate becomes whatever that person runs their campaign on, right? And the people get to pick what the directive of the marshals is.
Yeah, I still personally am in support of the tenureship idea of members of the marshals, where, for example, that if a marshal is hired into the marshal's office after 45 days, they achieve tenureship. And then they can only be removed by impeachment, death, or resignation instead of termination, because then that alleviates some of the fears of, well, if the people elect somebody who is corrupt, then he's just going to terminate anybody who is investigating the wrong person. And that gives just an extra level of protection, because of if you're worried about a marshal getting a little extra and starting to impeach people as a method of harassment, that's an impeachable event.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
Of this
I
meeting.
worry that for
Let's start
this
some
new
drama.
agency to succeed, there is no room for corruption within its ranks.
Yeah, and that's why you have a director who impeaches the marshals, and the marshals can also impeach their director if they need to.
Yeah.
I've been drinking, guys.
I think some in the room will understand.
I'm a little bit too lit right now, bro. I'm a little bit too lit right now.
No,
I'm a little bit too lit right now. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I think just because of the
little
way
bit.
the marshals work, just makes it
Hi,
Ken. It's a difficult agency.
How are you? I was just talking about how I'm a little drunk. I'm a little drunk.
Those waters. I mean, we were even reluctant to provide the marshals.
I have a buzz ball,
because I didn't
biggie
want the
ball
optics,
with
and Grace, and I believe you didn't want the
straw
optics
in
that
it.
the marshals are
And
now.
I don't think I'm holding up well
because
because I
we're
still
getting
have
money, right?
I still
Yeah,
have
I mean, it was
a
literally
little
the
bit
reason we were
under
legislatively
halfway of a
removed
bottle
from it,
left.
right? And I don't.
But
want
I'm
that
trying to
issue
get
at all.
fucked
Now,
up, like grrr.
Operational pragmatism means that I'm willing to like hand over some cash if everybody else is.
September.
You know, that we're all just funding out of necessity.
September.
There's in no way I want the DOJ tied to those people.
I can't believe
Like,
we're
it's just-
still talking about the Marshall shit.
And then the other side of
Next
tenureship,
topic,
though, is
please.
that also restricts the.
Why is
authority
he
of the
not
director.
texting Finley
I
back?
understand why you would want to restrict that authority. Right?
Can we start some drama?
But I also
a little bit of
understand the
drama.
argument that would come from a director that
A little
unnecessarily
bit.
handcuffs them from making what they deem operationally necessary decisions. So,
Well,
Finley is so cute. Like, who you know is gonna rock this
The
outfit?
director in some ways, but
who do
when
you
think
know
of,
is gonna
like,
rock this
how
outfit?
Legislation. If you legislatively are telling the director, "Hey, you are in charge of giving the general direction of the marshals," and the troopers,"
Nobody.
yeah.
and the director goes, "Well, what can I do if the marshals aren't obeying the directives?" Like, well, it is a directive that comes from the legislative bodies, and their duties, you write in that legislatively their duties are to abide by the general direction as commanded by the legislative bodies. If they're refusing to follow that, that's impeachable. That's dereliction of duty. And so there is a method of them being able to maintain control of it, but while also providing them protection so that they can do the investigations as they see fit. Because I'll tell you, if you start impeaching marshals because, well, all you're doing is investigating the mayor's office, and we think that's we've commanded you not to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that's going to raise a lot more questions than anything if you start impeaching a marshal for trying to impeach a mayor.
Sure, of course. I think the fact of the matter is this, right? And this is my opinion. I think it's something that I'm not going to decide on the spot here. I'm going to need to go back and look at your legislation again. I'm going to need to go back and look at the existing martial legislation and the original iteration of it. And I'm going to try and poke holes in all of it and try to come up with something new. So what I'm going to tell you straight up, Barrett, whatever I come back and put forward at the next meeting is not going to be your piece of legislation. But
Oh no, mine doesn't need to fit now.
Yeah, but it is going to take it into consideration. So that's kind of
Yeah,
where I'm at. Go ahead, please.
No, my legislation as a whole, honestly, should not be implemented at this point. After what we saw from that impeachment hearing, if we had good confidence in the marshals as is, yeah, it'd be great. If this was 4 months ago, marshals, it'd be perfect. But after what I saw, absolutely not. There's a lot of changes that need to be had to my legislation. Mine gives some ideas, but it is not the framework that it needs to argue down.
Barrett, let me ask you a question. If this is to go forward and this is to succeed, do you think that ranks need to be cleared entirely?
The entire marshals, all marshals that currently are in the division, should be suspended and removed from their authority, in my opinion, and that if they want to rejoin the marshals in their new structure, they can apply just like everybody else.
I'm going to share this with the table. I guess you use this as a baseline. You know, if everyone gets this. There are sections of this that I am going to want to revise before moving forward. I am going to want to see complete legislation for whatever the next iteration of this agency is going to be. I would want to see that in this document before it becomes public. But when we next meet on Thursday, I'm going to commit to having all my comments in this document so we can leave that meeting on Thursday, putting something up publicly.
Is that going to be this coming Thursday, the 11th, or the following, the 18th?
I think the 11th is our next meeting, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to be clear, what I'm proposing in this is effectively a vote of non-confidence at next meeting between the.
You don't want to do that now?
We can do it now.
Because if we're going to start working on legislation.
Yeah, we may as well have the vote. So I'm going to read this this vote out procedurally, and we can vote on it right now. So from the Los Santos County Mayor's Office, vote of non-confidence against the San Andreas State Marshals, whereas the impeachment proceedings of Marshal Gunnar Kane and subsequent public testimony have revealed systemic failure, conflicts of interest, and a disregard for democratic oversight within the Marshals. Whereas these issues demonstrate not merely the failings of one officer, but a broader institutional breakdown inconsistent with the Constitution of San Andreas and the trust of the people. Whereas the scope and theme of these issues are consistent with dutiful failings of the Marshals dating back nearly to their inception. I say nearly for your sake, Grayson, you're welcome. Which include the malicious prosecution of Mayor Kyle Pride, failures to investigate the corrupt government of Princess Elena, and a repeated demonstration of their inability to understand and apply the law as shown by their less than stellar court win-loss record. Whereas the San Andreas State Marshals have documented inability to understand the scope of their authority or the authority granted to legislative authorities through the Constitution of San Andreas, as noted by their exceptional ability to unlawfully broker arms deals for county police departments without involving the elected bodies tasked with overseeing these public services. And lastly, whereas it is the duty of the legislative authorities of San Andreas to ensure accountability, transparency, and lawful governance across all agencies. Therefore, be it resolved, vote of non-confidence.
I'm so lit.
By this resolution, the legislative authorities of San Andreas express a formal vote of non-confidence in the San Andreas State Marshals. On behalf of the Los Angeles County Mayor's Office, I vote in favor of non-confidence with the Marshals.
On behalf of the San Andreas Department of Justice and the panel of justices, we unanimously vote yes.
Blaine County Mayor's Office.
Yeah, fuck the Marshals.
Sama.
Quick question just on reading this.
Please.
This isn't the public referendum that's
No.
like once we finish this vote that we have 24 hours for the public referendum to start.
Well, once we finish this vote, we'll finish refining the rest of the document effectively.
Okay, because I'm reading the bit about the public referendum commence no later than 24 hours from the passage.
Yeah, no, we'll commit to amending the remainder of the document. So procedurally, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to remove everything after Article 1, just so we're working from what we're talking about right now. Is that fair?
Am I supposed to sign that? Nobody
What was
else
that?
signed.
Yeah, Sam's voting with the table.
If the legislative authorities voting in favor can sign the document.
Oh. Wait, do I put my name? Wait, I was first.
Michael, you know the temptation for me to put in that faceless associate after that newspaper.
Do it, pussy. You won't.
Yeah, I won't, because I'll fucking go, oh, why is that in there? Yeah, me and Michael have links to do with the faceless, according to
I'm sorry,
an unnamed source.
We should just hyphenate both of our last names: Michael Rosell Chavez and Junior Huntley Chavez. You want to do that?
Yeah, should we do that?
What's a name change cost, Grayson? I'd do it for the bit.
I'd do it for a bit.
I'll buy you a new bicycle.
Yeah, you can
Just bought a car.
You have a BMX if you want.
What?
Mate.
You bought a fucking car?
Yeah, I got bored the other day and went and bought $1 million car and a boat.
Jesus. Wait, what boat did you buy?
I bought a Marquis.
Ooh.
Good man. Join the boat club.
Yeah. So I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to share with all the legislative authorities the remainder of the document as it was before we signed it, because those are effectively our next steps. Let's come back with feedback on all that, because that is effectively our implementation plan. And I'll take a stab at drafting a piece of legislation for whatever these next agencies or departments are going to be. I'm going to try and do that as quickly as possible, because I want everyone here to have an opportunity to review that before Thursday's meeting. And Craig, number one, I appreciate your service to the state of San Andreas, and I think you know that. You and I have worked together on a number of occasions over the last year, and we've always worked well together. In good faith, I am going to look at what you provided, and I am going to try and incorporate as much of your feedback that I believe in myself into the next piece of legislation.
Thank you, and I'm sorry I left the marshals in such a desperate state of disrepair.
It's no one man's job to hold the fucking line for everybody.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Okay, well, any bits or what's next?
I get up and leave when people say that word.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, but we love bits.
When do we do like the food quiz? Or
Oh
like
god.
musical chairs? Anyone up for some musical
When somebody
chairs?
gets us a fucking
screen
projector in here, yeah.
Yeah, how do we
any
get one of those?
chance?
Probably not. I mean, where's it gonna go?
Yeah, I mean, we just go
On
down to
that
the
side.
courthouse. We can just do it in the courtroom.
Yeah, that's true.
Personally speaking, I don't really have much else to discuss. Well, actually, I do.
Emergency meetings.
I do want to raise this. A lot of you in the room and a lot of people who work for you attended the chief of police interviews that occurred over the last 3 days. So, a massive thank you from my officers for you guys participating in that. I do have an international surgery tomorrow. I got to get a plate removed from my jaw. Not looking forward to that, but I'm going to make the announcement on Wednesday at MRP.
Wednesday, okay.
Yeah, that's my plan. For those who weren't there, it was very eye-opening. We heard from a lot of different people, a lot of unique people that said a lot of the same stuff, to be honest. A lot of people raised the same ideas and raised the same topics and the same problems, which kind of lends some credence to these issues that they're bringing up actually existing. And I have to say, the people that I went into the interviews with thinking they would be at the top of my list, let's just say it didn't really go that way. So Wednesday is going to be fun.
Gulp.
Oh, is
But
it
yeah,
Wednesday
that's
or I thought it was tomorrow.
What's that? Sorry.
I thought you were picking tomorrow.
Well, no, I have surgery tomorrow. It was either going to be today or Wednesday. I can't do tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any tea?
Possibly. Could I speak to both mayors and Grayson after this?
Yeah.
I'll go fuck myself.
Well, just because I don't want to conflict you, but I think Grayson's already conflicted on what I want to discuss.
I'm celibate, by the way.
Is that what you tell people?
That's true. Okay, that's it from me. Junior, do you have anything otherwise?
No, I don't think so, mate. No.
Angela?
Nope.
Perry, you want to, fess up to your role in getting 2 of my officers reprimanded for cooking meth, or?
God damn it, Perry.
Okay,
Yeah, what the
they
fuck?
told me.
Uh-huh.
They told me they got permission. Like Doc told me he got permission from the chief of police.
Uh-huh.
Like me and Angela talked about it. Like he literally told us he got permission. That's the only reason why we did it.
Uh-huh.
And we were going to help try and reword. Was it production of a controlled substance?
Uh-huh.
And
Tell
then
you what I
found out
blame
2 weeks
of the
later-
whole situation.
What's that? Tell
So
me.
there's one man with blood in his hands here.
Uh-huh.
Derek Shaw. Bald.
True.
Fraud.
Maybe
Also
he
a
has
coward,
like alopecia or something, and you're like disability shaming him.
But Harry won't even show up for a fist fight with Junior. That's what I
Yeah,
hear.
he won't. He's a pussy, bro.
Is
You'll,
that
you'll
true?
catch these hands.
You're so beatable, though.
Yeah, I know, this is the thing.
The thing is, you always talk like this, and then you get your ass fucking beat.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Just how he likes it.
Yeah, exactly. See, but I'm doing you a favor because then you don't actually get the guy to wake up.
I don't need him to wake up though.
I do, just so I can use his big bald head to play the bongos on.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I had to work with this guy almost every day, right? And then
Yeah.
before becoming mayor, I literally did have to work with him every day.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. There is no one better to be Blaine County Mayor than me, according to the people.
Yeah, because the standards are so low up north. Your baseline is don't do corruption and don't embezzle the county bank account.
I thought the base, like for him to be successful, all he's got to do is survive 3 months. If he survives, he's the best mayor ever.
Yeah, it's the thing. If I just do my full term, I'm fucking buzzing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yet you want to do another one.
Second one. Then you'll be the second one.
Yeah, yeah. People want me to do another
Andy
term.
didn't do her full term.
365.
Andy
No.
stepped down two or 3 weeks
Yeah,
before the end of her
she's-
term.
He handed over to Eve.
Fair,
Yeah.
but
Fred survived his full term. He just wasn't able to work
he
for most
did.
of it.
Yeah.
He actually did, didn't he?
Yeah, but he could- he
No,
could
that's
work for
not
most
true
of it.
either. I think Pred stepped down officially and made Princess his acting mayor. I think.
I thought he just didn't show up. I didn't think it was
I don't
anything official.
I don't think that actually happened. I think it was like he was gonna do it, and then she came to us saying like he's doing it, but he never told us that he's doing it.
And then didn't she say the same thing with Mumbles? Didn't she say that Mumbles made her mayor or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh no,
And
that
then
was
she
a
did the
special
same
election.
thing herself.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Christ. I should have read him for Blaine County. Okay.
When you on a real note, when you start working on the new marshal, I think for the sake of not requiring a new building, we should keep the name. Like,
Yeah, don't piss off the state tailor. They just got a whole bunch
yeah,
of fucking new
yeah,
clothes.
I was thinking about logistically, like,
Yeah, just
not
keep the name
making-
Marshals just so you don't piss off the state tailor. Please.
at least for one of them,
Wait, we
whatever
got new
end up-
clothes?
Maybe marshals for the investigative side and like
That's what I was
they're
thinking.
recommending trooper for the patrol side.
Yeah, just putting it all under one umbrella of the San Andreas like
Georgia State
Department of Public
Troopers,
Safety.
God.
Oh god, not the troopers.
Yeah, what is wrong with the troopers? I
With
don't
the
have the
Georgia State
context.
Troopers?
No, back in the day, they were chaotic.
Peach was an amazing trooper. What do you mean?
Sensing some
Okay,
trauma
Peach
from
was
Perry.
amazing. No, there wasn't any drama. No. Oh.
Quantum shows up again. Somebody says the word chaos.
I have an announcement.
Oh God.
Denied.
I just took
Um,
Adderall.
Get out.
Askers. But yeah, whenever you start working on it, let me know. I'm happy to help you work on that. We can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that.
Well, I'm gonna basically create a document and share it with everyone, so we
Sounds
can
good.
kind of all work on
Cool.
it collaboratively. Okay, good shit.
Okay, Thursday then.
Thursday.
Okay.
See y'all Thursday.
Meeting
Thanks, everyone.
over.
Mayors,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Grayson and
So, Sean,
Sam and
you should come
Director.
Let's go to
let's
my
have a,
office, Barrett, if you don't mind.
Let's have a
All right.
let's have a
He
catch up.
told me.
I shouldn't.
Come on,
be too long,
Junior.
like,
Come on,
yeah,
Junior.
it's
All right, cool.
Hey, what did I
Do
miss?
you wanna wait in the deputy mayor's room?
Uh,
I'll see you guys
we're
there.
good.
For this one, I'm gonna
Really?
need just the.
We'll be back.
just
Deputy
the
Mayor's
specific people.
office?
We're gonna
Where the
discuss
hell is
the
that?
director of SAMA.
I need 2 seconds.
The mayor themselves and Grayson, just because I'm gonna talk about stuff that's privileged.
Give me 2 seconds.
Hey,
You
yo.
coming? Or you just breathing heavy? What's going on? Okay.
I was talking to you guys this whole time, and literally, I was muted. I just need some love. Tired of fucking with these lame. Baby, I just need a thug. Won't you be my plug, babe? You could be the one, babe. Fucking start with a handshake. Baby, I'm gonna need more than a hug. Girls can never say they want it. Girls can never say yeah. Girls can never say they need it. Girls can never say nah. Girls can never say they want it. Girls can never say nah. Girls can never say they need it. Can you let me know when you're free?
Oh,
I thought you weren't gonna see me here, honestly.
why wouldn't I?
Cause you don't look around.
Girl, stop.
Oh, I'm a bit too lit right now. You're slurring on your words, not making any sense, but I don't fucking care at all. Cause I have hella feelings for you. I act like I don't fucking care, like they ain't even there. Cause I have hella feelings for you. I act like I don't fucking care at all. Oh yeah. Why didn't you text me back?
I've been thinking about things this whole time. I was listening to everything, but yeah. Kind of like super busy today. It's weird.
Okay, do you want me to leave you alone?
I might need a break. You know what I mean?
You know, international.
I don't want you to leave me alone, but
You know what I mean?
I might have to take like an hour break or something.
Jeez.
I got a lot of shit.
Why can't we just like?
He also had those people who would actually help him. And,
Why can't we just like?
See you guys later.
John. See you later.
Bye. Why can't we just like? Oh.
Damn it. That's 50
but if
more
you need
grand you're gonna owe me
just let
for
me
being
know,
your
reach
lawyer.
out, okay?
What was I saying? Why can't we just like?
Huey boy. Hi, Finn.
Hi.
How's
Talk to me.
your defamation going?
Nothing. I think we're friends now again. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna need your help though if he does it though.
All right. Well, you just keep slandering his name as much as you can, and we'll see how much money they can take from you.
I'll make you a deal. Whatever he takes from me in the court case, I'll pay you.
Oh my god.
You like that?
Oh my lord.
He said he liked that.
We have a deal, baby.
Not too much. Not too much. Not too much.
If he gets $1 million from me, I'm giving you $1 million.
Hell yeah.
But wait, no. But I still ain't
Nope.
help me away.
He said it. You gotta go. All right. Bye.
Rich gang, gang, gang. Gang, 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 gang. Hugh. I think
up?
I'm a bit too late right now.
Oh my god.
I think I'm a bit too late right now. 'Cause I have hella feelings for you. I act like I don't fucking care. Like they ain't even there. 'Cause I have hella feelings for you. I act like I don't fucking care. I don't. Hey. Hey. Who texting me?
I need.
Oh!
Where'd you go? Girl, what are you doing?
I fell. ¿Qué pasó? Dime.
I need about an hour or so.
An hour?
Yeah, I gotta fly out.
Do you think I'll be sober in an hour?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Drink enough water? Might.
No.
Maybe.
I'm hungry. Oh, yeah.
Where would you like to go?
Fine, just leave me to walk back home.
No. I'm saying, where would you like me to take you?
You just leave me to walk back home.
I mean, I'll give you the keys to the car. You can go wherever. I can sleep in that bush. I just need like an hour.
That's fine. I want to go home. Actually, this is fine. I'll just stay here.
What?
I'll just stay here.
Okay.
What? Where are you gonna go? Excuse me.
I was just gonna park it up, but you know, I'm not
Park
gonna
it
leave
where?
it. I mean, honestly, I just need an hour, so I'll probably just park in the garage.
Where?
Unless you want to take it and go and need to go somewhere.
I
That's
don't
why I
want to
said.
go somewhere. I want to go eat something.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Oh, not you hitting Michael's car.
Not in my eyes. Ain't that what they say? Not in my eyes. I'm just gonna park back here.
That was actually low key funny.
Go hide in the bush for a minute.
Yeah, sure, whatever. What are you gonna go do? What do you have to go do for an hour? What are you gonna go do?
Gotta go do some work.
You gonna go do some work? We can do work on the hill.
All right. I will see you in a bit.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Asshole.
I said you could take my car.
It's okay. I need to go get something to eat. I'm freaking cooked.
All right. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I act like I don't fucking care. Like they ain't even there. I actually want to go listen to all my music tracks and see what I want to put on a fucking EP. So I'm going to go do that and end stream right here. Hey, I'm ending my stream. I might be live later. I'm drinking a little bit late. You know, like I need to freaking just like go sober up and like chill. I'm hungry. Goodbye. Who's streaming? I don't know. So I'm just going to end. If you're lurking, I love you. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.